Part 2. Timon. Thou saw'st them, when I had prosperity. Alcibiades, I see them now, then was a blessed time. Timon as thine is now, held with a brace of harlots. Timandra is this the Athenian minion, whom the world voiced so regardfully. Timon art thou Timandra? Timandra yes. Timon be a whore still. They love thee not that use thee, give them diseases, leaving with thee their lust. Make use of thy salt hours. Season the slaves for tubs and baths. Bring down rose-cheeked youth to the tub fast and the diet. Monster. Alcibiades pardon him, sweet Timandra, for his wits are drowned and lost in his calamities. I have but little gold of late, brave Timon, the want whereof doth daily make revolt in my penurious band. I have heard and grieved, how cursed Athens, mindless of thy worth, forgetting thy great deeds, when neighbor states, but for thy sword and fortune, trod upon them. Timon. I prithee, beat thy drum, and get thee gone. Alcibiades, I am thy friend, and pity thee, dear Timon. Timon, how dost thou pity him whom thou dost trouble? I had rather be alone. Alcibiades, why, fare thee well, here is some gold for thee. Timon, keep it, I cannot eat it. Alcibiades, when I have laid proud Athens on a heap. Timon, warst thou gainst Athens? Alcibiades, I, Timon, and have cause. Timon, the gods confound them all in thy conquest, and the after, when thou hast conquered. Alcibiades, why me, Timon? Timon, that, by killing of villains, thou wast born to conquer my country. Put up thy gold. Go on, here's gold, go on. Be as a planetary plague, when Jove will o'er some high-viced city hang his poison in the sick air. Let not thy sword skip one. Pity not honored age for his white beard. He is an usurer. Strike me the counterfeit matron. It is her habit only that is honest, herself's a bawd. Let not the virgin's cheek make soft thy trenchant sword, for those milk paps, that through the window bars bore at men's eyes, are not within the leaf of pity writ, but set them down horrible traitors. Spare not the babe, whose dimpled smiles from fools exhaust their mercy. Think it a bastard, whom the oracle hath doubtfully pronounced thy throat shall cut and mince it sans remorse. Swear against objects, put armor on thine ears and on thine eyes, whose proof, nor yells of mothers, maids, nor babes, nor sight of priests in holy vestments bleeding, shall pierce a jot. There's gold to pay soldiers. Make large confusion, and, thy fury spent, confounded be thyself. Speak not, be gone. Alcibiades, hast thou gold yet? I'll take the gold thou givest me, not all thy counsel. Timon, dost thou, or dost thou not, heaven's curse upon thee. Phrynia, Timandra, give us some gold, good Timon. Hast thou more? Timon, enough to make a whore forswear her trade, and to make whores a bawd. Hold up, you sluts, your aprons mountant. You are not oathable, although, I know, you swear. Terribly swear into strong shudders and to heavenly aid use the immortal gods that hear you. Spare your oaths, I'll trust to your conditions. Be whore still, and he whose pious breath seeks to convert you, be strong in whore, allure him, burn him up. Let your clothes fire predominate his smoke and be no turncoats. Yet may your pains, 6 months, be quite contrary. And thatch your poor thin roofs with burthens of the dead. Some that were hanged, no matter. Wear them, betray with them, whore still, paint till a horse may mire upon your face, a pox of wrinkles. Phrynia, Timandra, well, more gold, what then? Believed, that we'll do anything for gold. Timon, consumptions sow in hollow bones of man, strike their sharp shins, and mar men spurring. Crack the lawyer's voice, that he may never more false title plead, nor sound his quillets shrilly. Whore the flamen, that scolds against the quality of flesh, and not believes himself. Down with the nose, down with it flat. Take the bridge quite away of him that, his particular to foresee, smells from the general wheel. Make curled pate ruffians bald, and let the unscarred braggarts of the war derive some pain from you. Plague all, that your activity may defeat and quell the source of all. Erection. There's more gold. Do you damn others, and let this damn you, and ditches grave you all. Phrynia, Timandra, more counsel with more money, bounteous Timon. Timon, more whore, more mischief first, I have given you earnest. Alcibiades, strike up the drum towards Athens. Farewell, Timon. If I thrive well, I'll visit thee again. Timon, if I hope well, I'll never see thee more. Alcibiades, I never did thee harm. Timon, yes, thou spokest well of me. Alcibiades, call'st thou that harm? Timon, men daily find it. Get thee away, and take thy beagles with thee. Alcibiades, we but offend him. Strike. Drum bets. Exin Alcibiades, phry nigh, and Timandra, Timon, that nature, being sick of man's unkindness, should yet be hungry. Common mother, thou, digging whose womb unmeasurable and infinite breast teems and feeds all, whose self-same metal, whereof thy proud child, arrogant man, is puffed, engenders the black toad and adder blue, the gilded newt and eyeless venomed worm, with all the abhorred births below crisp heaven whereon Hyperion's quickening fire doth shine, yield him, who all thy human sons doth hate, from forth thy plenteous bosom, one poor root. Insere thy fertile and conceptious womb, let it no more bring out ingrateful man. Go great with tigers, dragons, wolves, and bears. Teem with new monsters, whom thy upward face hath to the marbled mansion all above never presented. Oh, a root, dear thanks. Dry up thy marrows, vines, and plow-torn lees, whereof ungrateful man, with licorice draughts and morsels unctuous, greases his pure mind, that from it all consideration slips. Enter Epamantis more man? Plague, plague. Epamantis, I was directed hither. Men report thou dost affect my manners, and dost use them. Timon, 'tis, then, because thou dost not keep a dog, whom I would imitate. Consumption catch thee. Epamantis, this is in thee a nature but infected, a poor unmanly melancholy sprung from change of fortune. Why this spade? This place? This slave-like habit? And these looks of care? Thy flatterers yet wear silk, drink wine, lie soft, hug their diseased perfumes, and have forgot that ever Timon was. Shame not these woods, by putting on the cunning of a carper. Be thou a flatterer now, and seek to thrive by that which has undone thee. Hinge thy knee, and let his very breath, whom thou wilt observe, blow off thy cap, praise his most vicious strain, and call it excellent. Thou wast told thus. Thou gavest thine ears like tapsters that bid welcome to knaves and all approachers. 'Tis most just that thou turn rascal. Hadst thou wealth again, rascals should have tea. Do not assume my likeness. Timon, were I like thee, I'll throw away myself. Epamantis, thou hast cast away thyself, being like thyself, a madman so long, now a fool. What, think'st that the bleak air, thy boisterous chamberlain, will put thy shirt on warm? Will these moss trees, that have outlived the eagle, page thy heels, and skip where thou point'st out? Will the cold brook, candied with ice, coddle thy morning taste, to cure thy o'ernight surfeit? Call the creatures whose naked natures live in the spite of wreakful heaven, whose bare unhoused trunks, to the conflicting elements exposed, answer mere nature. Bid them flatter thee, oh, thou shalt find, Timon a fool of thee. Depart. Epamantis, I love thee better now than e'er I did. Timon, I hate thee worse. Epamantis, why? Timon, thou flatter'st misery. Epamantis, I flatter not, but say thou art a caitiff. Timon, why dost thou seek me out? Epamantis, to vex thee. Timon, always a villain's office or a fool's. Dost please thyself in't? Epamantus, I. Timon. What? A knave too? Epamantis, if thou didst put this sour cold habit on to castigate thy pride, 'twere well. But thou dost it enforcely. Thou'll diesti courtier be again, wert thou not beggar. Willing misery outlives and certain pomp, is crowned before. The one is filling still, never complete. The other, at high wish. Best state, contentless, hath a distracted and most wretched being, worse than the worst, content. Thou shouldst desire to die, being miserable. Timon, not by his breath that is more miserable. Thou art a slave, whom fortune's tender arm with favor never clasped, but bred a dog. Hadst thou, like us from our first swath, preceded the sweet degrees that this brief world affords to such as may the passive drugs of it freely command, thou wouldst have plunged thyself in general riot, melted down thy youth in different beds of lust, and never learned the icy precepts of respect, but followed the sugared game before thee. But myself, who had the world as my confectionery, the mouths, the tongues, the eyes and hearts of men at duty, more than I could frame employment, that numberless upon me stuck as leaves do on the oak, hive with one winter's brush fell from their boughs and left me open, bare for every storm that blows. I, to bear this, that never knew but better, is some burden. Thy nature did commence in sufferance, time hath made thee hardened. Why shouldst thou hate men? They never flattered thee, what hast thou given? If thou wilt curse thy father, that poor rag, must be thy subject, who in spite put stuff to some she-beggar and compounded thee poor rogue hereditary. Hence, be gone! If thou hadst not been born the worst of men, thou hadst been a knave and flatterer. Epamantis, art thou proud yet? Timon, I, that I am not thee. Epamantis, I, that I was no prodigal. Timon, I, that I am one now. Were all the wealth I have shut up in thee, I'll give thee leave to hang it. Get thee gone. That the whole life of Athens were in this. Thus would I eat it. Eating a root Epamantus here, I will mend thy feast. Offering him a root Timon first mend my company, take away thyself. Epamantus so I shall mend mine own, by the lack of thine. Timon, 'tis not well mended so, it is but botched. If not, I would it were. Epamantus what wouldst thou have to Athens? Timon thee thither in a whirlwind. If thou wilt, tell them there I have gold, look, so I have. Epamantus, here is no use for gold. Timon the best and truest, for here it sleeps and does no hired harm. Epamantus where least o nights, Timon? Timon under that's above me. Where feedst thou o days, Epamantus? Epamantus where my stomach finds meat, or, rather, where I eat it. Timon would poison were obedient and knew my mind. Epamantus where wouldst thou send it? Timon to sauce thy dishes. Epamantus the middle of humanity thou never knewest, but the extremity of both ends. When thou wast in thy guilt and thy perfume, they mocked thee for too much curiosity. In thy rags thou knowest none, but art despised for the contrary. There's a meddler for thee, eat it. Timon on what I hate I feed not. Epamantus dost hate thou meddler? Timon I, though it look like thee. Epamantus and thou hadst hated meddlers sooner, thou shouldst have loved thyself better now. What man didst thou ever know unthrift that was beloved after his means? Timon who, without those means thou talkest of, didst thou ever know beloved? Epamantus myself. Timon I understand thee, thou hadst some means to keep a dog. Epamantus what things in the world canst thou nearest compare to thy flatterers? Timon women nearest, but men are the things themselves. What wouldst thou do with the world, Epamantus, if it lay in thy power? Epamantus give it the beasts, to be rid of the men. Timon wouldst thou have thyself fall in the confusion of men, and remain a beast with the beasts? Epamantus I, Timon. Timon, a beastly ambition, which the gods grant thee to attain to. If thou wert the lion, the fox would beguile thee. If thou wert the lamb, the fox would eat three. If thou wert the fox, the lion would suspect thee, when peradventure thou wert accused by the ass. If thou wert the ass, thy dullness would torment thee, and still thou livedst but as a breakfast to the wolf. If thou wert the wolf, thy greediness would afflict thee, and oft thou shouldst hazard thy life for thy dinner. Wert thou the unicorn, pride and wrath would confound thee and make thine own self the conquest of thy fury. Wert thou a bear, thou wouldst be killed by the horse. Wert thou a horse, thou wouldst be seized by the leopard. Wert thou a leopard, thou wert German to the lion, and the spots of thy kindred were jurors on thy life. All thy safety were remotion and thy defense absence. What beast couldst thou be, that were not subject to a beast? And what a beast art thou already, that sayest not thy loss in transformation? Epamantus if thou couldst please me with speaking to me, thou mightst have hit upon it here. The commonwealth of Athens is become a forest of beasts. Timon how has the ass broke the wall, that thou art out of the city? Epamantus yonder comes a poet and a painter. The plague of company light upon thee. I will fear to catch it and give way. When I know not what else to do, I'll see thee again. Timon when there is nothing living but thee, thou shalt be welcome. I had rather be a beggar's dog than Epamantus. Epamantus thou art the cap of all the fools alive. Timon would thou were clean enough to spit upon. Epamantus a plague on thee. Thou art too bad to curse. Timon all villains that do stand by thee are pure. Epamantus there is no leprosy but what thou speakst. Timon if I name thee, I'll beat thee, but I should infect my hands. Epamantus I would my tongue could rot them off. Timon away, thou issue of a mangy dog. Choler does kill me that thou art alive, I swoon to see thee. Epamantus would thou wouldst burst. Timon away, thou tedious rogue. I am sorry I shall lose a stone by thee. Throws a stone at him Epamantus beast. Timon, slave. Epamantus toad. Timon rogue, rogue, rogue. I am sick of this false world, and will love not but even the mere necessities upon tea. Then, Timon, presently prepare thy grave. Lie where the light foam the sea may beat thy gravestone daily. Make thine epitaph, that death in me at others' lives may laugh. To the gold, O thou sweet king killer and dear divorce, twixt natural son and sire. Thou bright defiler of Hymen's purest bed. Tu valiant Mars. Thou ever young, fresh, loved and delicate wooer, whose blush doth thaw the consecrated snow that lies on Dian's lap. Thou visible god, that solvest close impossibilities and makest them kiss. That speakst with every tongue, to every purpose. O thou touch of hearts! Think, thy slave men rebels, and by thy virtue set them into confounding odds, that beasts may have the world and empire. Epamantus would torso, but not till I am dead. I'll say thou's gold. Thou wilt be thronged to shortly. Timon thronged to. Epamantus I. Timon thy back, I prithee. Epamantus live and love thy misery. Timon long live so and so die. Exit Epamantus I am quit. Mow things like men. Eat, Timon, and abhor them. Enter banditti. First bandit. Where should he have this gold? It is some poor fragment, some slender sort of his remainder. The mere want of gold, and the falling from of his friends, drove him into this melancholy. Second bandit. It is noised he hath a mass of treasure. Third bandit. Let us make the essay upon him. If he care not for it, he will supply us easily. If he covetously reserve it, how shall's get it? Second bandit. True, for he bears it not about him, 'tis hid. First bandit. Is not this he? Banditti where? Second bandit. 'Tis his description. Third bandit. He, I know him. Banditti. Save thee, Timon. Timon now, thieves? Banditti. Soldiers, not thieves. Timon. Both too, and women's sons. Banditti. We are not thieves, but men that much do want. Timon. Your greatest want is, you want much of meat. Why should you want? Behold, the earth hath roots. Within this mile break forth 100 springs. The oak's bare mast, the briar's scarlet hips, the bounteous housewife. Nature, on each bush lays her full mess before you. Want? Why want? First bandit. We cannot live on grass, on berries, water, as beasts and birds and fishes. Timon. Nor on the beasts themselves, the birds and fishes, you must eat men. Yet thinks I must you con that you are thieves professed, that you work not in holier shapes, for there is boundless theft in limited professions. Rascal thieves, here's gold. Go, suck the subtle blood o' the grape, till the high fever seethe your blood to froth, and so 'scape hanging. Trust not the physician, his antidotes are poison, and he slays mo than you rob. Take wealth and lives together. Do villainy, do, since you protested do't, like workmen. I'll example you with thievery. The sun's a thief, and with his great attraction robs the vast sea. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. The sea's a thief, whose liquid surge resolves the moon into salt tears. The earth's a thief, that feeds and breeds by a composture stolen from general excrement. Each thing's a thief. The laws, your curb and whip, in their rough power have unchecked theft. Love not yourselves, away, rob one another. There's more gold. Cut throats. All that you meet are thieves. To Athens go, break open shops. Nothing can you steal, but thieves do lose it. Steal no less, for this I give you, and gold confound you howsoe'er. Amen. Third bandit. Has almost charmed me from my profession, by persuading me to it. First bandit. 'Tis in the malice of mankind that he thus advises us, not to have us thrive in our mystery. Second bandit. I'll believe him as an enemy, and give over my trade. First bandit. Let us first see peace in Athens. There is no time so miserable but a man may be true. Exeunt banditti. Enter Flavius. Flavius. O you gods! Is yon despised and ruinous man my lord? Full of decay and failing? O monument and wonder of good deeds evilly bestowed! What an alteration of honor has desperate want made! What viler thing upon the earth than friends? Who can bring noblest minds to basest ends? How rarely does it meet with this time's guise, when man was wished to love his enemies. Gran I may ever love, and rather woo those that would mischief me than those that do. Has caught me in his eye, I will present my honest grief unto him, and, as my lord, still serve him with my life. My dearest master, Timon away! What art thou? Flavius. Have you forgot me, sir? Timon. Why dost ask that? I have forgot all men, then, if thou grant'st thou art a man, I have forgot thee. Flavius. An honest poor servant of yours. Timon. Then I know thee not. I never had honest men about me, all I kept were knaves, to serve in meat to villains. Flavius. The gods are witness, ne'er did poor steward wear a truer grief for his undone lord than mine eyes for you. Timon. What, dost thou weep? Come needeth. Then I love thee, because thou art a woman and disclaim'st flinty mankind, whose eyes do never give but thorough lust and laughter. Pity sleeping, strange times, that weep with laughing, not with weeping. Flavius. I beg of you to know me, good my lord, to accept my grief, and whilst this poor wealth lasts to entertain me as your steward still. Timon. Had I a steward so true, so just, and now so comfortable? It almost turns my dangerous nature mild. Let me behold thy face. Surely, this man was born of woman. Forgive my general and acceptless rashness, you perpetual sober gods. I do proclaim one honest man, mistake me not, but one. No more, I pray, and he's a steward. How fain would I have hated all mankind. And thou redeem'st thyself, but all, save thee, I fell with curses. Methinks thou art more honest now than wise, for, by oppressing and betraying me, thou mightst have sooner got another service. for many so arrive at second masters, upon their first lord's neck. But tell me true, for I must ever doubt, though ne'er so sure, is not thy kindness subtle, covetous, if not a usuring kindness, and, as rich men deal gifts, expecting in return 20 for one? Flavius, no, my most worthy master, in whose breast doubt and suspect, alas, are placed too late. You should have feared false times when you did feast. Suspect still comes where an estate is least. That which I show, heaven knows, is merely love, duty and zeal to your unmatched mind, care of your food and living, and, believe it, my most honored lord, for any benefit that points to me, either in hope or present, I'll exchange for this one wish, that you had power and wealth to requite me, by making rich yourself. Timon, look thee, 'tis so. Thou singly honest man, here, take. The gods out of my misery have sent thee treasure. Go, live rich and happy, but thus conditioned, thou shalt build from men. Hate all, curse all, show charity to none, but let the famished flesh slide from the bone, ere thou relieve the beggar. Give to dogs what thou deniest to men. Let prisons swallow, debts wither, to nothing. Be men like blasted woods, and may diseases lick up their false bloods. And so farewell and thrive. Flavius, oh, let me stay and comfort you, my master. Timon, if thou hatest curses, stay not, fly, whilst thou art blessed and free. Ne'er see thou man, and let me ne'er see thee. Exit Flavius. Timon retires to his cave. Act V Scene I. The woods. Before Timon's cave. Enter poet and painter. Timon watching them from his cave. Painter, as I took note of the place, it cannot be far where he abides. Poet, what's to be thought of him? Does the rumor hold for true, that he's so full of gold? Painter, certain. Alcibiades reports it, Phrynia and Timandra had gold of him. He likewise enriched poor straggling soldiers with great quantity. 'Tis said he gave unto his steward a mighty sum. Poet, then this breaking of his has been but a try for his friends. Painter, nothing else. You shall see him upon in Athens again, and flourish with the highest. Therefore 'tis not amiss we tender our loves to him, in this supposed distress of his. It will show honestly in us, and is very likely to load our purposes with what they travail for, if it be a just true report that goes of his having. Poet, what have you now to present unto him? Painter, nothing at this time but my visitation, only I will promise him an excellent piece. Poet, I must serve him so too, tell him of an intent that's coming toward him. Painter, good as the best. Promising is the very air o' the time. It opens the eyes of expectation. Performance is ever the duller for his act, but in the plainer and simpler kind of people, the deed of saying is quite out of use. To promise is most courtly and fashionable. Performance is a kind of will or testament which argues a great sickness in his judgment that makes it. Timon comes from his cave, behind Timon aside, excellent workman. Thou canst not paint a man so bad as is thyself. Poet, I am thinking what I shall say I have provided for him. It must be a personating of himself, a satire against the softness of prosperity, with a discovery of the infinite flatteries that follow youth and opulency. Timon aside, must thou needs stand for a villain in thine own work? Wilt thou whip thine own faults in other men? Do so, I have gold for thee. Poet, nay, let's seek him. Then do we sin against our own estate, when we may profit meet and come too late. Painter, true, when the day serves, before black-cornered night, find what thou want'st by free and offered light. Come. Timon. Aside, I'll meet you at the turn. What a god's gold, that he is worshipped in a baser temple than where swine feed. 'Tis thou that rickst the bark and plost the foam, settlest admired reverence in a slave. To thee be worship, and thy saints for I be crowned with plagues that thee alone obey. Fit I meet them. Coming forward, poet, hail, worthy Timon. Painter, our late noble master. Timon, have I once lived to see two honest men? Poet, sir, having often of your open bounty tasted, hearing you were retired, your friends fallen off, whose thankless natures, O abhorred spirits, not all the whips of heaven are large enough. What? To you, whose star-like nobleness gave life and influence to their whole being. I am rapt and cannot cover the monstrous bulk of this ingratitude with any size of words. Timon, let it go naked, men may seat the better. You that are honest, by being what you are, make them best seen and known. Painter, he and myself have travailed in the great shower of your gifts, and sweetly felt it. Timon, I, you are honest men. Painter, we are hither come to offer you our service. Timon, most honest men. Why, how shall I requite you? Can you eat roots and drink cold water? No. Both what we can do, we'll do, to do you service. Timon, ye honest men. Ye be heard that I have gold. I am sure you have. Speak truth, ye honest men. Painter, so it is said, my noble lord. But therefore came not my friend nor I, Timon, good honest men. Thou drawst a counterfeit best in all Athens. Thou art indeed, the best. Thou counterfeitst most lively. Painter, so, my lord. Timon, e'en so, sir, as I say. And, for thy fiction, why, thy verse swells with stuff so fine and smooth that thou art even natural in thine art. But, for all this, my honest-natured friends, I must needs say you have a little fault. Marry, 'tis not monstrous in you, neither wish I you take much pains to mend. Both. Beseech your honor to make it known to us. Timon, you'll take it ill. Both most thankfully, my lord. Timon, will you, indeed? Both doubt it not, worthy lord. Timon, there's never a one of you but trusts a knave, that mightily deceives you. Both do we, my lord? Timon, I and you hear him cog, see him dissemble, know his gross patchery, love him, feed him, keep in your bosom, yet remain assured that he's a made-up villain. Painter, I know none such, my lord. Poet, nor I. Timon, look you, I love you well. I'll give you gold, rid me these villains from your companies. Hang them or stab them, drown them in a draught, confound them by some course, and come to me. I'll give you gold enough. Both name them, my lord, let's know them. Timon, you that way and you this, but two in company, each man apart, all single and alone, yet an arch-villain keeps him company. If where thou art two villains shall not be, come not near him. If thou wouldst not reside but where one villain is, then him abandon. Hence, pack. There's gold, you came for gold, ye slaves. To painter you have worked for me. There's payment for you, hence. To poet you are an alchemist. Make gold of that. Out, rascal dogs. Beats them out, and then retires to his cave. Enter Flavius and two senators. Flavius, it is in vain that you would speak with Timon, for he is set so only to himself that nothing but himself which looks like man is friendly with him. First senator, bring us to his cave. It is our part and promise to the Athenians to speak with Timon. Second senator, at all times alike men are not still the same. 'Twas time and griefs that framed him thus. Time, with his fairer hand, offering the fortunes of his former days, the former man may make him. Bring us to him, and chance it as it may. Flavius, here is his cave. Peace and content be here. Lord Timon. Timon! Look out and speak to friends. The Athenians, by two of their most reverend senate, greet thee. Speak to them, noble Timon. Timon comes from his cave. Timon, thou sun, that comfortst, burn. Speak and be hanged. For each true word, a blister. And each false be as cauterizing to the root o' the tongue, consuming it with speaking. First senator, worthy Timon. Timon of none but such as you, and you of Timon. First senator, the senators of Athens greet thee, Timon. Timon, I thank them, and would send them back the plague, could I but catch it for them. First senator, oh, forget what we are sorry for ourselves in thee. The senators with one consent of love entreat thee back to Athens, who have thought on special dignities, which vacant lie for thy best use and wearing. Second senator, they confess toward thee forgetfulness too general, gross, which now the public body, which doth seldom play the recanter, feeling in itself a lack of Timon's aid, hath sense with all of its own fail, restraining aid to Timon, and send forth us, to make their sorrowed render, together with a recompense more fruitful than their offense can weigh down by the dram. Aye, even such heaps and sums of love and wealth as shall to thee blot out what wrongs were theirs, and write in thee the figures of their love, ever to read them thine. Timon, you witch me in it, surprise me to the very brink of tears. Lend me a fool's heart and a woman's eyes, and I'll beweep these comforts, worthy senators. First senator, therefore, so please thee to return with us and of our Athens, thine and ours, to take the captainship, thou shalt be met with thanks, allowed with absolute power, and thy good name live with authority. So soon we shall drive back of Alcibiades the approaches wild, who, like a boar too savage, doth root up his country's peace. Second senator, and shakes his threatening sword against the walls of Athens. First senator, therefore, Timon. Timon, well, sir, I will. Therefore, I will, sir, thus. If Alcibiades kill my countrymen, let Alcibiades know this of Timon, that Timon cares not. But if be sack fair Athens, and take our goodly aged men by the beards, giving our holy virgins to the stain of contumelious, beastly, mad-brained war. Then let him know, and tell him Timon speaks it, in pity of our aged and our youth. I cannot choose but tell him, that I care not, and let him take't at worst. For their knives care not, while you have throats to answer. For myself, There's not a whittle in the unruly camp, but I do prize it at my love before the reverenced throat in Athens. So I leave you to the protection of the prosperous gods, as thieves to keepers. Flavius, stay not, all's in vain. Timon, why, I was writing of my epitaph. It will be seen tomorrow. My long sickness of health and living now begins to mend, and nothing brings me all things. Go, live still, be Alcibiades your plague, you his, and last so long enough. First Senator, we speak in vain. Timon, but yet I love my country, and am not one that rejoices in the common wreck, as common brute doth put it. First Senator, that's well spoke. Timon, commend me to my loving countrymen. First Senator, these words become your lips as they pass thorough them. Second Senator, and enter in our ears like great triumphers in their applauding gates. Timon, commend me to them, and tell them that, to ease them of their griefs, their fears of hostile strokes, their aches, losses, their pangs of love, with other incident throes that nature's fragile vessel doth sustain in life's uncertain voyage, I will some kindness do them. I'll teach them to prevent wild Alcibiades' wrath. First Senator, I like this well, he will return again. Timon, I have a tree which grows here in my close, that mine own use invites me to cut down, and shortly must I fell it. Tell my friends, tell Athens, in the sequence of degree from high to low throughout, that whoso please to stop affliction, let him take his haste, come hither, ere my tree hath felt the axe, and hang himself. I pray you, do my greeting. Flavius, trouble him no further, thus you still shall find him. Timon, come not to me again. But say to Athens, Timon hath made his everlasting mansion upon the beached verge of the salt flood, who once a day with his embossed froth the turbulent surge shall cover. Thither come, and let my gravestone be your oracle. Lips, let sour words go by and language end. What is amiss, plague and infection mend? Graves only be men's works and death their gain. Sun, hide thy beams. Timon hath done his reign. Retires to his cave. First Senator, his discontents are unremovably coupled to nature. Second Senator, our hope in him is dead. Let us return, and strain what other means is left unto us in our dear peril. First Senator, it requires swift foot. Exeunt. Scene 2. Before the walls of Athens. Enter two senators and a messenger. First Senator, thou hast painfully discovered. Are his files as full as thy report? Messenger, have spoke the least. Besides, his expedition promises present approach. Second Senator, we stand much hazard, if they bring not Timon. Messenger, I met a courier, one mine ancient friend, whom, though in general part we were opposed, yet our old love made a particular force, and made us speak like friends. This man was riding from Alcibiades to Timon's cave, with letters of entreaty, which imported his fellowship I, the cause against your city, in part for his sake moved. First Senator, here come our brothers. Enter the senators from Timon. Third Senator, no talk of Timon, nothing of him expect. The enemy's drum is heard, and fearful scouring doth choke the air with dust. In, and prepare. Ours is the fall, I fear, our foes the snare. Exeunt. Scene 3. The woods. Timon's cave and a rude tomb scene. Enter a soldier, seeking Timon. Soldier, by all description this should be the place. Who's here? Speak, ho. No answer. What is this? Timon is dead, who hath outstretched his span. Some beast reared this. There does not live a man. Dead, sure, and this his grave. What's on this tomb I cannot read. The character I'll take with wax. Our captain hath in every figure skill, an aged interpreter, though young in days. Before proud Athens he's set down by this, whose fall the mark of his ambition is. Exit. Scene 4. Before the walls of Athens. Trumpets sound. Enter Alcibiades with his powers. Alcibiades, sound to this coward and lascivious town our terrible approach. A parley sounded. Enter senators on the walls. Till now you have gone on and filled the time with all licentious measure, making your wills the scope of justice. Till now myself and such as slept within the shadow of your power have ye wandered with our traversed arms and breathed our sufferance vainly. Now the time is flush, when crouching marrow in the bearer strong cries of itself, no more. Now breathless wrong shall sit and pant in your great chairs of ease, and pursy insolence shall break his wind with fear and horrid flight. First Senator, noble and young, when thy first griefs were but a mere conceit, ere thou hadst power or we had cause of fear, we sent to thee, to give thy rages balm, to wipe out our ingratitude with loves above their quantity. Second Senator, so did we woo transform Timon to our city's love by humble message and by promised means. We were not all unkind, nor all deserve the common stroke of war. First Senator, these walls of ours were not erected by their hands from whom you have received your griefs. nor are they such that these great towers, trophies, and schools should fall for private faults in them. Second Senator, nor are they living who were the motives that you first went out. Shame that they wanted cunning, in excess hath broke their hearts. March, noble lord, into our city with thy banners spread, by decimation and a tithe death. If thy revenges hunger for that food which nature loathes, take thou the destined tenth, and by the hazard of the spotted die let die the spotted. First Senator, all have not offended, for those that were, it is not square to take on those that are. Revenges, crimes, like lands, are not inherited. Then, dear countrymen, bring in thy ranks, but leave without thy rage. Spare thy Athenian cradle, and those kin which in the bluster of thy wrath must fall with those that have offended. Like a shepherd, approach the fold and call the infected forth, but kill not altogether. Second Senator, what thou wilt, thou rather shalt enforce it with thy smile than hew it with thy sword. First Senator, set but thy foot against our rampired gates, and they shall ope, so thou wilt send thy gentle heart before, to say thou wilt enter friendly. Second Senator, throw thy glove, or any token of thine honor else, that thou wilt use the wars as thy redress, and not as our confusion. All thy powers shall make their harbor in our town, till we have sealed thy full desire. Alcibiades, then there's my glove, descend and open your uncharged ports. Those enemies of Timon's and mine own whom you yourselves shall set out for reproof fall and no more. And, to atone your fears with my more noble meaning, not a man shall pass his quarter, or offend the stream of regular justice in your city's bounds, but shall be rendered to your public laws at heaviest answer. Both 'tis most nobly spoken. Alcibiades, descend and keep your words. The senators, descend and open the gates. Enter soldier, soldier, my noble general, Timon is dead, entombed upon the very hemo, the sea, and on his gravestone this in sculpture, which with wax I brought away, whose soft impression interprets for my poor ignorance. Alcibiades reads the epitaph. Here lies a wretched corse of wretched soul bereft. Seek not my name. A plague consume you wicked caitiffs left. Here lie I, Timon, who, alive, all living men did hate. Pass by and curse they fill, but pass and stay not here thy gate. These well express in thee thy latter spirits, though thou abhor DSD in us our human griefs, scorn DST our brains flow and those are droplets which from niggard nature fall, yet rich conceit taught thee to make vast Neptune weep for I on thy low grave, on faults forgiven. Dead is noble Timon, of whose memory hereafter more. Bring me into your city, and I will use the olive with my sword, make war breed peace, make peace stint war, make each prescribe to other as each other's leech. Let our drums strike. Exeunt.